So, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Madam Fiza. My name is Muhammad Munir Hakim Abdul Rashid with my partner Nur Alisha Maisara Miti Sabri. We are from ELSC 506 Group 7. So today we will present our executive summary, which the topic is mental illness or mental health, investigating assumptions of the complete state model of health. So we will begin with the definitions. Mental health is characterized by the ability to successfully carry out mental functions, which leads to productive activities, satisfying interpersonal connections, and the capacity to adjust to change and overcome diversity or adversity. This is coming from Surgeon General in United States Public Health Service. So, in this article, we have two main issues. The first one is whether measures of mental health and illness represent separate but correlated dimensions rather than a single bipolar dimension. The second one is whether higher levels of mental health are associated with better psychosocial functioning. So, we move on to the introductions of the article. We have two introductions, which is the first one is health and second one is prevalent. Okay. According to Reef and Singer and Sajaris in World Health Organizations, health is a comprehensive state that includes both the absence of illness and the presence of something positive. Secondly, the prevalent understanding of mental health is psychiatric, meaning that people are either assumed to be mentally well or mentally sick. So, next is the introductions to the problems. Firstly, a lot of people who are not suffering from mental disorders do not feel well or perform well. This is because mental health issues are inferred, which means their diagnosable condition was not present at nearly half of persons of the mental health care each year. Secondly, according to Bradburn, Telgen, Watson and Clark, there are two correlated factors which have positive and negative impacts. So, for instance, people who do not necessarily feel depressed, which is a hallmark of depression, may not always feel extremely happy. Thirdly, certain measures of subjective well-being and prevalent mental illness constitute separate and correlated factors. This emphasizes on the psychological well-being and depressive symptoms. Next is the procedure. We have two procedures, which the first one is the participants. The study used data from the midlife in the United States that is called as Middle National Survey, a longitudinal study of mental and physical health in English-speaking, non-institutionalized adults aged from 25 to 74 years. Also, they resided in the 48 contiguous states and whose household included at least one telephone each house. Okay. The middle sample was drawn from the contiguous United States using random digit dialing and had a response rate of 61%. So for the second instruments, mental illness was accessed using the validated composite international diagnostic interview short form to diagnose disorder including major depression, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, and alcohol dependence in the past 12 months. Second, mental health was measured using scale assessing emotional well-being, that is life satisfaction and positive effects. Also using psychological well-being, that is self-acceptance or personal growth. And lastly, by using social well-being. Psychosocial functionings measures included limitation in daily activities, work heartbreaks due to mental health, perception of helplessness and control, goal formation, resilience and intimacy. Okay, so before I move on to the findings, I will explain the factors that affecting mental health. First one is from our genetics. Genetics can play a role in mental health. Some mental health conditions have a hereditary component. However, having a family history of mental health issues doesn't guarantee that you will experience them. Second is from our environment. Our environment, including our upbringing and life experiences, significantly impacts our mental health. Lastly is stress. From stress. Stress is a common part of our life, but chronic stress can take a toll on our mental health. By learning to manage and reduce stress, it is essential to maintain our good mental well-being. Here is the findings. We divide the findings into two, which the first one is the prevalence and comorbidity of 12 months mental disorder with mental health diagnosis. That's over 6 to 10 people of America, according to the survey, can be considered as healthy, while 18% of flourishing with mental health and 9.6% with the continuous assessment of mental health. Person who suffer with either 4 of the stated mental health is at a very low risk of flourishing, while 28% of individuals that suffer are at risk of languishing and 13% of moderately mentally healthy individuals. Second one is the psychosocial functioning by categorical diagnosis of complete mental health. About 17% of people reported being in the perfect mental health, whereas slightly more than 15% reported being in the moderate mental health. And a proportion of about 10% display pure languishing, which is languishing in the absence of any of the 4 mental illness. Okay, of the 22.9% of adults with any of the 4 mental disease, 7% also had a mental illness that was causing them to languish, while 15.9% had a mental condition that was causing them to flourish or have moderate mental illness.
The results provided support for the 2 key axioms of the complete state model regarding mental health and illness as related but distinct construct, and higher mental health relating to enhanced functioning. This validated conceptualizing mental health promotion and illness prevention or treatment as separate but interrelated public health priorities. Moving on to the recommendation, there are 3 recommendations which coming from the parents, study and also clinical practice, in which for parents need to play a big role in ensuring the stability of their child's mind from the early stages of life by taking measures on the limits of their education and balancing the social and academic life. This due to the journey of life as an adult that might drain them mentally and will lead to the reductions of the productivity of the individuals. Moreover, clinical practice could be informed by considering both mental health promotions and illness prevention or treatment, in which widen the scopes of the treatment, which not only include the physical treatment but also the emotional and mental treatment. Since people only assume they have good well-being mentally, due to the lack of the awareness from the clinical practice, thus they are not seeking for any immediate treatment from the professional. Hence, clinical practice plays important roles in ensuring the mental disorder of the individuals were protected. Last but not least, for study, future research should further evaluate the complete state model using prospective longitudinal studies and additional outcomes. Plus, broader assessment also needed to be included to wholly study the structural axiom to measure more mental disorder. Since the study was directed to the westernized culture, which is in the United States and English speakers, it must be targeted to wider circumstances, including many cultures, which the further study could have done. Professional help also matters. First is therapists. These experts specialize in counseling and therapy. They can help you manage your emotions, behaviors, and mental health condition. Sometimes, just talking to a therapist can make a world of difference. Second is the psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are medical doctors who specialize in diagnosing and treating mental health disorder. They can also prescribe medication when it's necessary for your treatment. Remember, seeking professional help is a sign of strength, not weakness. It's a courageous step to take when dealing with severe or persistent mental health issue. You are not alone in this journey, and there are many people who want to help you thrive. Next is the self-care practice. How can you love others when you're not loving yourself? So, this is the most important thing in which self-care. Number 1, establishing routine. A structured daily routine can provide stability and reduce uncertainty, which can contribute to better mental health. Second, setting boundaries. Teach students about setting boundaries to protect their time and energy, both in personal and digital interaction. Third, engaging in hobbies. Encourage students to pursue hobbies and activities they are passionate about as a form of self-care. Lastly is prioritizing sleep. Emphasize the significance of adequate sleep for overall mental and physical health. Lastly is the limitation. We have come to the end of our presentation for today. So, limitation. The study had a cross-sectional design, so could not determine casualty. Mental health was self-reported. Generalizability may be limited as data were from one national US sample. Midlife in the United States, MIDAS or MIDUS survey shall include the exact and the correct test to investigate the full structural axiom, since only 4 mental disorder has been investigated in the study to ensure the accurate result representing the whole structures of mental disorder. The result from the investigation might discriminate against certain cultures' opinions on mental health, since the survey only focuses on westernized culture. The survey was conducted by MIDAS, which can only be sent to 48 contiguous states and those who are English speakers, which limit the results of the study to get the most accurate answer from every representations of the culture. That's all from me. Thank you.